lot of people are interested in Coonans, but they've not seen a Model A. They're not too familiar with magazines, so this is just a little bit of a primer on a Model A, which are less common than Model Bs, and some of the magazines that will be used in the new production guns. This is a Model A. It does not have the beaver tail in the back like a Model B does. It has quite a number of sharp edges. The barrel system is identical to a Model 1911 Colt and clones, in the fact that it has Browning swinging link, like this barrel here. There's the link. The slide stop goes through here, through the frame, and makes the barrel unlock or lock. I have a extra slide and barrel. This is actually a Model B slide that I've played around with while I was developing the magazine. This slide is heavier than a Model A. It actually is tapered. It is shorter in the front, taller in the back, puts the mass behind it. It has a full-length guide rod just because it's easier for me to play around with it. I have pulled the firing pins out of this one, and I pulled the firing pins out of this slide, or assembly actually. We have here somewhere a very early magazine. These were heat treated rather crudely. They show color from heat treat, oxidation. This is an original follower from the Model A early days. This is a modified wedge. When these magazines first went into production, this wedge fit inside. This one's been ground a little bit to make a 38 kit. And you can tell a 38 kit because they have this little spacer in the back. So this would fit inside. The follower, of course, is guided by the slots in the body, and it articulates as it goes down. The point of this angle actually interfered a little bit in the front by design. This kept the stack of the cartridges up higher. But you could not load this to capacity and put it underneath a closed slide, which you can do with the newer magazine. This is a second type of follower, also black, where the mold has been reworked to get rid of that protruding part that ran into the body. At the same time, we eliminated the wedge and went to just a floor plate, which I did not bring along. Then he decided that a little more visible follower would have been nice, so they changed the color. Composition is the same. I can't tell you exactly what that is, but it was still wasn't quite doing the job. We found out that by changing the angle of the top and extending it up, that the cartridge stack was better for feeding. So the molds were modified again to include the 60 thousandths of an inch in the back. Now this one here is I turned this on a lathe. I made a form tool and a fixture, and we experimented with this just to double check where this breakout came. So this is a current production. We have to modify them a little bit to get them into the newest magazines, which have this little emboss in the bodies. This was a later original production magazine. The finish on these was good enough to plate because we found out if they put them in a cast iron chip environment that they came out pretty much a standard gray. This was further improved later on when they did them in a vacuum furnace. These are handmade magazines on my own tooling. These magazines that are going into production now have the same feed lip configuration, the same length, the same width, but it was just a lot easier to get this emboss in here and